Part 1 of Early Guides to the English Lake District. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Dr. Brown's letter, describing the vale and lake of Keswick. In my way to the north from Hagley, I passed through Dovedale, and to say the truth was disappointed in it. When I came to Buxton, I visited another or two of their romantic scenes, but these are inferior to Dovedale. They are but poor miniatures of Keswick, which exceeds them more in grandeur than I can give you to imagine, and more, if possible, in beauty than in grandeur. Instead of the narrow slip of valley which is seen at Dovedale, you have at Keswick a vast amphitheatre, in circumference above 20 miles. Instead of a meagre rivulet, a noble living lake, 10 miles round, of an oblong form, adorned with a variety of wooded islands. The rocks, indeed, of Dovedale are finely wild, pointed, and irregular, but the hills are both little and unanimated, and the margin of the brook is poorly edged with weeds, morass, and bushwood. But at Keswick you will on one side of the lake see a rich and beautiful landscape of cultivated fields rising to the eye in fine inequalities, with noble groves of oak happily dispersed, and climbing the adjacent hills, shade above shade, in the most various and picturesque forms. On the opposite shore you will find rocks and cliffs of stupendous height hanging broken over the lake in horrible grandeur, some of them 1,000 feet high, the woods climbing up their steep and shaggy sides, where mortal foot never yet approached. On these dreadful heights the eagles build their nests. A variety of waterfalls are seen pouring from their summits, and tumbling in vast sheets from rock to rock in rude and terrible magnificence, while on all sides of this immense amphitheatre the lofty mountains rise round, piercing the clouds in shapes as spiry and fantastic as the very rocks of Dovedale. To this I must add the frequent and bold projection of the cliffs into the lake, forming noble bays and promontories. In other parts they finely retire from it, and often open in abrupt chasms or clefts, through which at hand you see rich and cultivated vales, and beyond these at various distance mountain rising over mountain, among which new prospects present themselves in mist, till the eye is lost in an agreeable perplexity, where active fancy travels beyond sense, and pictures things unseen. Were I to analyse the two places into their constituent principles, I should tell you that the full perfection of Keswick consists of 3 circumstances: beauty, horror, and immensity united, the second of which is alone found in Dovedale. Of beauty it hath little, nature having left it almost a desert. Neither its small extent nor the diminutive and lifeless form of the hills admit magnificence. But to give you a complete idea of these 3 perfections as they are joined in Keswick would require the united powers of Claude, Salvator, and Poussin. The first should throw his delicate sunshine over the cultivated vales, the scattered cots, the groves, the lake, and wooded islands. The second should dash out the horror of the rugged cliffs, the steeps, the hanging woods, and foaming waterfalls, while the grand pencil of Poussin should crown the whole with the majesty of the impending mountains. So much for what I would call the permanent beauties of this astonishing scene. Were I not afraid of being tiresome, I could now dwell as long on its varying or accidental beauties. I would sail round the lake, anchor in every bay, and land you on every promontory and island. I would point out the perpetual change of prospect, the woods, rocks, cliffs, and mountains, by turns vanishing or rising into view, now gaining on the sight, hanging over our heads in their full dimensions, beautifully dreadful, and now by a change of situation, assuming new romantic shapes, retiring and lessening on the eye, and insensibly losing themselves in an azure
Sample complete. Ready to continue?